Hi guys, quick update here for YouTube, and we're gonna have a quick look at Bitcoin. It's Wednesday, 5th of February 2025. If you want to join the group, everything's here. If you want to pay via crypto, just message me through the Facebook page. We've got various courses here, and we will be getting a part 2 to the mortgage amortization course. That's very detailed. We're going to be going through personal line of credits, home equity line of credits, credit cards, personal loans, and we're just going to recap on mortgages and how they're all very different. Very big difference between good debt and bad debt, but you have to know how to use it. That should be getting released, we hope, before the end of the year. It's been delayed now 3.5 years. I'd say about 95% of that course has been completed. And if you want to join the group, it is cheaper over 3 months. Just click on this link over here. Now, you know, Bitcoin here, it's effectively done nothing the last month, and we've gone sideways. Now, if you were to look at that, just visually, you could easily regard all of that as a bull flag. This little move here was a 27% decline top to bottom. This here, 22% decline top to bottom. So there is still the very real possibility we could get another push up here. I'm not saying it's going to follow that exact fractal. And then after which point we're going to have a large correction, yeah, clearly. Now, you know, we have a medium-term count, we have a long-term count before the end of the decade. As far as I'm concerned, those two ideas have not changed. The only sort of back and forth that we've had here is the short-term count. Have we topped and we're ready for a correction, or are we going to go a little bit higher, then we're in for a correction, okay? With all the Nvda and the margin calls and the inauguration, Bitcoin has, to be fair, held up pretty well. And you have to admit, all of this looks very much corrective, okay? Now, obviously, we don't think a major grand super cycle top by any means has formed here. So the one thing we can absolutely be certain of, a catastrophic collapse to zero is 100% not going to occur. Passively, this market is still long. We can't tell you exactly how high it's going to go. We have a unbelievable count here, the medium and long-term count. It's just a short-term count. There's been a bit of back and forth. Anyone who hasn't been going back and forth here really is not a trader. Now, we've marked out a sort of a danger zone here, which is between 97 and 99,000, right? Just to keep things simple for the group members here. So that is pretty much the 50% and the 61.8 of this entire move here. So that's our sort of danger zone that we've marked out. And, you know, whilst we don't like to simplify things as much as this, it comes into about here. We basically said, look, as long as we are below this, we are bearish, and if we're above this, we are bullish. And right now, we're right in the middle of it. That's clearly a very important pivot level, exactly where we are right now. So a grand super cycle top in this market has not formed. Obviously, eventually we're going to go higher. Our medium to long-term count has not changed whatsoever. We're still passively long on the SPY. Dollar doesn't look very good. It looks quite weak, to be fair. We are bullish on the pound and the euro. You know, those are two currencies which a lot of group members have sort of moved into, kind of moving away from US dollars. I don't see any hope for the US dollar here. Obviously, a dollar fall will eventually mean dollar Bitcoin bullish, you would hope. But that, you know, you can still get the possibility where dollar can fall and Bitcoin could potentially fall at the same time, albeit just short term. So our medium to long term count has not changed. We are very much bearish on the dollar. SPY, we still believe 4 6s and 7,000, and here we are in the danger zone. So right now, we are, you know, technically right in the middle of that danger zone. You could read all of this as a very complex WXY correction, where we've gone into a W here, into an X. Now we're forming another kind of maybe a triangle type of formation here, diamond continuation. So, and then we're going to go higher. Like I said, visually, if you were to look at this, it looks very similar to the move here, doesn't it? This kind of ABC kind of flat correction here, and then, you know, there is one more push up. And certainly, you know, you would have to say, in terms of the on chains, you know, in terms of the euphoria, the net unrealized profit and loss, the pi cycle top indicator, the stock to flow, not that we really follow that. Obviously, the stock to flow is aiming for 250. I don't think it gets this high. If it does push up here, if it does break out of this consolidation to the upside, and there's various other indicators there. None of them are suggestive of a major top here. So that is the situation that we're in. Top to bottom has been 22%. Visually, if you were to look at this on the weekly chart, it does appear to be a bull flag. And if we are going to break out to the upside here, we have one higher target. We have a limit. We have defined that limit over the last couple of weeks. If we do break out bullishly, stay above the danger zone, break 108, get a confirmed breakout, just like here, on some decent volume, like here, right? Nice green candles. We have an upside limit up here somewhere. I won't tell you where it is, but it's basically somewhere up there. I can't imagine mathematically it's able to get much above the upside limit. Obviously, if we break down, then you read all of that as a distribution. Then obviously we're going to come down, and then, like I said, our medium to long term count has not changed. The only back and forth, and I can see a lot of other market participants are having this difficulty, is where does the short term go? Does it go up, then has a huge correction, or are we already in the huge correction? Either way, passively, this market is still long, and like I said, the big dollar move. I mean, we can just touch on the dollar here. We've nailed this exact top. I mean, we call this top, and now we call this. You know, that doesn't look good. However way you were to look at that, that doesn't look good. I don't see this. You know, if that is a genuine 1-2 down there, that is a huge move on the US dollar. And this basically proves S&P is going to go higher. I mean, that looks very, very bad. And like I said, euros and pounds, I see nothing but upside there. We did call a lifetime low in the pound just a couple of years ago. And here, with all the liquidations that we've had, we're still consolidating. So it's very annoying with the S&P. Like, you know, a lot of shorts are trying to jump all over this and trying to force a downside move, but it's not correcting, you know, even 10%. You know, still passively, this market is still long. You know, you cannot call an end to this bull market here. I know there's a lot of people on Twitter and on YouTube, you know, they've called multiple tops here. None of them have been the actual top. This market can still drag on higher. Yeah, we've not hit that peak euphoria move. Now, with that being said, I mean, I was just having a look at AMD. I mean, this is getting very tasty, this. Obviously, we've been out since here because we like to buy low, sell high. We know what we're doing. But just given how much it's fallen, I just feel as though this is due a bit of a bounce. I don't think for 1 second it'll take out this high anytime soon. I was just having a brief look at it today. I mean, it's down another... What is that? 10, maybe 8.5% in the extended hours market there. I was just thinking this might be a nice little play just for a cheeky oversold bounce, that's all. Especially given the fact that Nvda has pretty much already kind of, you know, found a workable low. Obviously, Nvidia's top for the rest of eternity and it's going to go to about 40. But I was just thinking AMD, little bit strange today how it's down 9% and actually Nvidia is actually it's actually up in the pre-market here. So I think AMD is definitely worth a bit of a shout here, maybe with some vertical spreads. Like I said, I don't for 1 second think this is a common stock play. I think this is a very short-term swing trade. Looks a bit wedgy to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some divergence. Interestingly, they have, that's not interesting at all. I thought that might have been March. So we're nowhere near the earnings, but you see that? We're right in the pre-market of the 1-to-1 between this move and this move here. So is AMD due a bit of a... That's it. That's all we're looking for there, right? We're not looking for miracles here on AMD. I can't imagine it going all the way back up to 140. Obviously, the actual volume profile would be more like... we don't really have that candle, do we? So is AMD due a small bounce? But these are the subtle divergences that you have to look at every single day. You know, the market opens depending on which time zone you're in. You know, it could be 2:30 in Europe, could be 1:30, could be 9:30 Eastern time. Whenever you see Nvidia and the semis doing one thing, Nasdaq doing one thing, and then suddenly AMD, you're like, hold on a minute, that is a mispricing. So unless some devastating news has come out for AMD overnight, which I don't believe to be the case. I mean, I believe you can set this up with the news. So I don't know how we've managed to get onto AMD. Frankly, if it's bearish news, it makes it even more bullish. So what's happening here? Yeah, you know, some usual yeah, just the usual stuff there. So that actually makes it even more bullish. So yeah, you know, there might be a move here on AMD. That's it. That's all I have for you. I don't think it makes a new high though. Yeah, and you know, this, I mean, you know, we've been out since here. We buy low, sell high. To me, that is, you know, if that has topped, and I can count a complete, I just refuse to give any bullish counts above here. There's so much damage that has taken place here, and I think that is just bear flag, distribution, lower points of supply. You know, that is the eventual goal, and this is what's, you know, causing some volatility in the market. It's still a 2.5. I mean, AMD unbelievably is valued at 100 price over earnings. Nvidia is only 46. So valuation wise, technically Nvidia is a very good proposition here relative to AMD, but you look at it, you think it's at 119. Who wants to take that trade? I'm asking people in the YouTube audience, would you want to go long here looking for 150? Because I can count 5 waves up. And if you can't count 5 waves up, well then, what's your count then? Because I can count a clear 5 waves up from the Genesis. So if that's not your count, you know, do we confirm? Do we make all of that a wave 4? I don't know. It looks very, very bad. It's really struggling here. And I would rather be safe and say that there's a good chance that the top is in, and there's too much damage has taken place here. So many people have FOMO'd in above 150, and as soon as they do a stock split, it's often a very good time to trap retail traders in at unfavorable levels. Obviously, we do have the new Solana, which we're discussing in the group, and you know, we are all over that, and we're all over many altcoins. I mean, we are all over XLM, XRP. So if you want to know more, come and join the group. I can't show you the watch list just in case it brings up all the new coins which we're looking at here. We found about 3 or 4 new gems, microcap gems, anywhere from 2 million market cap, unbelievably, to a $50 million market cap. And our next Solana is still valued at what I believe is unbelievable discounted levels. You know, no one really wants to buy Solana up here. I think there is a possibility you can go to 500 in a bit of a wedge, but we buy low and we sell high. So, you know, if you're not buying low and selling high, it doesn't really matter what else you're doing. Elliott wave, volume, it doesn't really matter. The unbelievable first step has to be buy low, sell high. I don't care what you're using as your technical analysis. We said 4, it's going to go to $1,000, and we got out of the way, so we don't care. That's a 50x move, 10 grand, $500,000 done. Move on to your next trade. This is not a serious investor wouldn't be buying here. They would be joining our group, finding out what the new Solana is, and they'd be parking their money into there, because that new Solana has held up really well. I mean, here, you know, you can see I mean, you know, there might be a wedge, but who cares? That's not how you make money in the altcoins. You don't buy at 206 and sell at 500. The move is done, and the move is done ages ago. Just like Ethereum, it's uninvestable asset. It's not the point if it goes to 10,000. It's a waste of time. But anyway, let's just get onto Bitcoin. So if you want to know more, just come and join the group. We just can't give too much away here because it's unfair group members. So, you know, that's all I have for you. Our medium-term count, our long-term count is an unbelievable count on Bitcoin. No one has our count. That has not changed. The only back and forth is the top already in. Visually, if you were to look at that, given everything that's happened, all the volatility, you have to say Bitcoin has held up pretty well. There's no doubt. Given what Nvda has done and has likely topped, we're above this, you know, quote-unquote danger zone here, which we've marked out as 97 to 99,000, just to keep it easy. Does it look like a corrective AB? Does it look very easy? Yeah, Absolutely. There's no doubt. It looks, I mean, that was 27 back and forth, and that was 22 back and forth. So, and then just the one last thing I wanted to mention here, a big part of this whole trade is the link to, so Bitcoin is obviously correlated to the inverse of the dominance of the US dollar tether dominance, right? And this level is clearly very, very weak. This level here. So what we need to absolutely 100% confirm and get us out of this annoying back and forth that we've been in is a breakdown in here, right? So the inverse or the reciprocal, right? So when this goes down but Bitcoin goes up, right? It's the inverse. They're not correlated, they're inversely correlated. We've hit this level now. I mean, we've hit it once here as well. 379 multiple times. So this is needed. If this breaks down and does something like this, I see no hope here for this particular chart until, I mean, you know, you're looking at 2.5%. And this is what is going to lead or help to confirm the big breakout. So, you know, these are the leading, I mean, this amongst the many leading indicators which we're looking at here. And this has been the annoying chart because this is really annoying. Let's be honest here. This US dollar tether dominance has given us fake outs and shakeouts. And certainly I've never seen this amount of shakeout and tomfoolery the first 6 weeks of a year, because it's usually pretty straightforward where they want the market to go. Dollar has obviously now been mucking around and it's now very clear what the directional move on that is. So this is a very important chart. So once again, I'm asking the YouTube audience, right? I mean, what the hell is this? A WXY, in which case it's an X wave or a B wave. This is what we need. We need to break down below here. If you break down below here, below this 3.9 level, which is very, very weak, right? The more times you hit a level, right? Let's say it's hammered to a ceiling, eventually you're going to bust all the way through, right? You know, that gets you to here. And that is what you need. If you're bullish on Bitcoin, you need this to break down. As of right now, is it breaking down? No. Could you regard that as a correction? Absolutely yes. This is a very important chart. So, you know, don't go just being, you know, bullish for the hell of it, you know, it's buying it. You know, this is not investing, right? You know, we don't teach this on the masterclass or in the Facebook group, right? We don't listen to baby boomers, right? We're an anti-baby boomer YouTube channel because all they had to do was wake up in the 1950s, breathe oxygen, buy a house for about $500 and sell it for $700,000 50 years later, and the house is pretty much falling down. And that's just the unfortunate fate of the baby boomer generation. They buy crap like this, hold it for 2 years, and they come up to me and they call themselves investors, and I call them a retard. You never listen to a boomer. They don't know what they're doing. They just were very, very lucky. The luckiest generation in the history of mankind. But unfortunately, where the market is right now, like Apple, let's just take Apple. I mean, don't know how we're going on so many tangents, right? This is not the same as a boomer buying in 2008, right? Even this, I'm very concerned about, right? 10-year long position, I just sold it here because I was like, that's not worth my time or effort. What has it done really in the last, you know, that's not investing. In 1,600 days for you to only return 83%. I would disown you for that. That's not investing, right? This, you know, how much higher can it go, right? I mean, how much of a wedge can it really form? You know, we are approaching major tops here, and the people I feel the most sorry for are the ones who are just starting out, perhaps fresh out of college, fresh out of uni, and they've been advised perhaps by, I don't know, financial advisors, whatever you call them, CFAs or CPAs or retards, and they said, look, you know, the S&P returns 13% passively every year. Yes, it's done that since '08. Doesn't mean it's going to do that for the next 10 years or even 15 years. So, you know, no one wants to buy Apple up here. Don't forget, there's a buyer for every seller and a seller for every buyer, as the individuals who have purchased Nvda have found out. If anything, boomers are offloading into this. Right, let's just keep it simple. Let's ask the YouTube audience, right? Let's see how educated they are, because they are my YouTube audience, so I would like to think they've learned a thing or two. What is the likelihood of this doubling between now and 2030? I would say 0%. I would say you are having a laugh. It's not even mathematically possible for this stock to double between now and 2030. And that's who I feel the most sorry for. It's not the boomers or the Gen Zs or even the millennials who are legging it out of this market. It's the TikTok crew, the ones in their 20s who have just gone in here with 5-10 grand passively buying SPY index funds. That's not how you invest. You have to know how to read a chart. You have to become a swing trader. You have to move in and out. You cannot have any long-term, belief system here, right? You're not buying Apple at $1 like the boomers were. I would say there's a 0% this doubles. Not even, I would say from this level I'm talking about. From this level, if you were to buy here, I don't think this doubles between now and the year 2040. So that's not investing. So this is uninvestable. It's not the point that it goes up. If you're a new individual into this market, that's who I feel the most sorry for. Microsoft, is that going to double between here? So how do you make money if you're a new investor? Well, you got to learn how to read a chart. You got to do what boomers do. If I was to explain Fibonacci application basics to a boomer, their head would blow off. Literally, they would be decapitated. They wouldn't have a clue because they got lucky. But you can't get lucky anymore. Now you actually have to have some knowledge. You have to know all of this, and it's there for you if you want to know. This is not going to double from here. It's just not. Between now and the end of the decade, right? Once again, what is the one thing that we always teach? Get off the log chart. Every now and then, get off the log chart and you tell me whether that doesn't look like a parabolic move. I'm not saying that this can't go higher, but if I was to show you Nvda, that looks absolutely ridiculous. If that was an altcoin, you would be saying it's going to 40. Why? Because it's Nvidia. Why can't we make the call? Look, like I said, in the group, we buy low, sell high. We got out in June. We got out 7 months ago. We don't care if it goes to 0. But this is what Nvidia really looks like. I think the log chart, amongst many things, is, I would say, based on what I've seen on YouTube the last 7.5 years, is the number one reason most people have lost money here in crypto or the stock market. Yes, everything we analyze has to be on the log chart. Obviously, all the fibs, all the calculations, everything, yes, and we get that. But you have to understand, you have to switch to the linear chart every now and again to get some perspective. If that's not the Wall Street cheat sheet, I don't know what is. New paradigm, new this, new that. Then here, we're going to have that return to normal, and then despair, anxiety, depression, capitulation, and whatever. You've got to love the irony in this. We bought at 40, sold it here, and now it's going to come all the way back down again. And, fine, we can't. It's all compressed, right? So you have to move back and forth between the two charts. I can read that as a 1, that as a 2, and then sorry, I don't have the exact count to hand right now, but I was running, I believe, that as a 3-4. I believe I was running that as the 3-4, because I can count 3 into here. Sorry, no. That was the wave 5 of 3. That was the 3-4, and that's the problem. Then obviously I was running then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the problem. It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. It's not an easy market right now. I don't think this is going to be an easy year. I think it's going to be a very difficult year. Anyway, if you want to join the group, these are the things that we look at. If you want educational course, everything's here. It's going to be a very difficult year, I think, for most people. I would say 99% of people, if they're not in the group, then they're not going to make any money this year. There's too many strange dynamics going on all at the same time. SPY is going to continue to churn higher, but as these stocks start to top and start to fall, there's going to be a lot of confusion here, and people won't be able to understand what's going on. So my only advice, finishing off this video, if you're not going to educate yourself, if you're not going to join the group, all I will say is occasionally turn to the linear chart every now and then. I think that's the last piece of advice I'm going to give today.